Okay, welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Trash Can. And we're going to take a look at the Deebot X1 Omni. It's almost about a year old, but if you are really observant, you might notice it's not the same robot. Well, it's not because it broke completely. And I had to send it back for the third time. And what they told me that is unfixable. So they sent me a new one. Now, what is outstanding is whether this new robot that they sent me, the warranty extends another year, which I'm hoping. I have not heard back from the guy named George or not. But one of the things I do, or a couple of things I want to show you is what happens a year later when you have this robot. All right, so one of the first observations I noticed is this is the new tank that came with the machine. This is the old tank. This tank used to look like this, but I guess with the cleaning solution, it changed the color. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still fine. It doesn't leak or anything like that, but the color definitely did change. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at are the pads. Okay. So, I'm holding my left hand is a brand spanking new pad that came with the machine, and it's unused. It was in the extra little thingy that goes in there. This has never touched the floor. This one was used for almost an entire year. Got a little string hanging off the side of it, but nearly identical. The nap is restored. I mean, you can go like this and barely tell which one is which, okay? The nap is perfectly fine on this, and I'll show you that in the next video, but these things last pretty long. Okay, so the next part of this is what happens to the pads. So this is an old pad, okay, which we just saw a second ago. Oh, let's just take a new one. All right, still an old pad, all right. This is also an old pad, but this is one that has not been fixed or basically washed. All right, so what happens is over time the nap, all right, gets compacted, okay, and that slight difference in thickness you see results in it not being able to touch the floor. It'll just spin like this, and you won't get a nice wet snail trail on your floor like what you're supposed to do because it gets matted down. It's too embedded with dirt. All right, so what you do is you just rip these guys off, and I've done this a million times, guys. The Velcro lasts like forever on these things. And you put the new one on, and that's it. It gets mounted to the bottom with a magnet, and you can do this to remedy the problem, and you just stick them in the wash with your, I put it in there with my normal clothes. It's not that big a deal. So the next part would be the bottom roller. And this is off the old machine. I took it off before I sent it in. And the rubber is definitely a lot less malleable, I'll say. It feels more vulcanized, and it was a lot softer, if that makes sense, in the beginning. So that probably would be a problem. It's probably not gripping the floor as well as it should have. And the bristles are a little more beat up. Right, you can see then the newer one would be kind of perfect. Of course, I probably could have cleaned all this fuzz off of it. But in a sense, this wheel probably, I don't know, you could probably get more time out of it. But it's definitely, it would be nicer to have a newer wheel, right? Because you're going to be missing dust and spots, basically, because some of the bristles are malformed at this point. And this is also the housing for that. So the rubber on this as well kind of gets worn down a little bit, but I'm sure I could probably get another year out of it. I mean, it might have reduced the efficiency by 10%, but it's something that could be replaced. These are the side bristles. Okay, so honestly, they look pretty close to identical to the new ones. If I get up close, the camera's not really going to zoom in, but they're not really very ratty. All the bristles are still there. I mean, a couple of them, like on this one or two are like out of whack. But in general, they're there. I mean, I think they overemphasize replacing these more or quicker than you need to. but these are perfectly fine. The length is exactly the same. They're still flexible. They still do a really good job, and I don't think you need to replace these every year. Okay, so I did go a long time before replacing my bag. I kind of just opened it up and dumped it out, right? Because they don't get terribly dirty, I have to say. I mean, mine lasted forever and a day, and then once I did have to replace it, it's like $20 for 3 bags, so it is kind of costly. So I did dump these bags out and reuse them, which you can do, but I do have a small cache of bags now, so you know, there's that. But it is an added expense of $20, and that's probably all I spent in the year of maintaining this machine. And it runs 3 to 4 times a day. So that's pretty much it with the unit as far as 1 year goes. Again, it's a brand new unit. I got it in like February, I think, of last year, or March or so, and we're coming up on that now. So for a whole year, I really put no maintenance into it out of pocket other than the warranty issues. And my only complaint is that it didn't even last a year, but they did replace it. So whether they're going to honor the warranty on this one as a new year, a full, extended another year, and if it breaks again, they give me a new one, who knows? That's really what they should do, to be honest with you. But one of the other viewers mentioned that if you get it from Best Buy, they will give you a 7-year warranty on this thing. And it does a phenomenal job when it works. I cannot complain. It does 90% of the cleaning of the house. But it can't do anything if it's constantly broken, right? And it's 54 pounds. So shipping it back and forth is not fun. And I've had to do it 3 times. So I hope that helps. And keep the questions coming, and I'll be happy to answer anything I can for you in the future.